All right. Hey, everybody. How you guys doing? Of course, it's another great episode of Lunchtime Talk with Steve, and that means it's lunchtime. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. Today, we have Ray Martin. He's a candidate for commissioner for seat 3 in the city of Lauderhill, Florida. Um, so we're going to go ahead and get started on sharing it out with friends, relatives, all that good stuff. And then we'll be back in about 2 minutes to talk to Ray. All right. So go ahead and share it out with your friends, your favorite group, with everybody. Just let them know that Steve is on. I'll be right back with you guys. All right, there we go. We are back. All right, so as promised, we have Ray Martin here with us. And Ray, how are you today?
I'm good, Steve. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, and you're running for Commissioner seat 3, correct?
That is correct.
All right, so tell us a little bit about Ray. What is the one thing, that you would want us to know about Ray before we make that decision? Go ahead and introduce yourself to our guests, all right?
Yeah,
to our viewers.
Yeah, and I'll respond in the same way you asked the question. What's the one thing that you need to know about Ray before making that decision? I'll tell you the one thing is I'm not running for me. I'm not running for fame, popularity, and I'm not running for a job. What I am running for is to be a voice for the voiceless and a voice for the community and a voice for the people. Far too long, the city, what I understand, and it's not just even at the city levels, at the county level, as well as the state and national level. Our voices, the things that we want, somehow do not seem to translate to the policies that the elected officials are putting out. It appears to be sometimes, we call it out of touch. My pulse is on the community. I talk with everyday residents. I live it. My family members are everyday people. And so I understand what the community needs. And that's what I'm here to do, is to fight for the community. A little bit about me. I am a retired Army veteran. I served 22 and a half years, multiple deployments to Iraq and Bosnia. I retired about 5.5 years ago. I started my own company, Extreme Government Solutions. I've grown that company now. We're a multi-million-dollar company. We put on products and services for the federal government. And right now, that's what I continue to do. And now I want to get back to the city and fight for my community.
All right, awesome. So tell me, what is the one thing day one you walk into the commission chamber? What's the one thing that you want to change? What's the pressing issue that you would like to change?
There's a whole lot of things, but the first thing when we talk about changing issues, and I want to be candid with you, I don't want to just give you some rhetoric, because there's two types of politicians out there. You can talk some flavorful stuff, or you can talk real stuff. And I'll talk real stuff with you, Steve, because I know you personally, and we just like to keep it straight. Before we can make any change, to be truly honest, number one, we have to know where our money is going. And number two, we have to know what policies we have. Sometimes it may not even be changing policies. Sometimes it might just mean enforcing policies that are already there or that have been overlooked. So I would make sure, number one, we are doing what we're supposed to do, and our money is going where it's supposed to go. And after that, that's when you can come up with new ideas and make changes, because behind every new idea and a change is going to cost money. And if you don't already know where the money is at or where the money is going, you're not really going to be able to affect change.
So where's the money going right now? What's something that our viewers should know about? Where's the funding going?
So what happens is we create a budget, and I am chairman of the Lauderhill City Community Budget and Advisory Board. And what I don't want to do is point fingers and say that money is going erroneously, but I can give you a couple of examples that's not pointing any fingers. We had a hurricane a few years ago. I volunteered to be part of that hurricane task force. And what I found was there were a lot of businesses and debris removal companies that came into our city that did not reflect the individuals in the city, were not hired by the city, were not companies or residents or businesses in the city. And so I had a real problem with that. And when I researched it, they said, well, you had to be on this FEMA list, and then the list, you had to be on this Lauderhill list, and then you had to be on this list, and all these things that seem to block out our local entrepreneurs and our local businesses. And so what I challenged the city, as well as challenging our Chamber of Commerce, is if we know a hurricane comes every single year, and we know that millions of dollars come in for our local businesses and our local debris removal company. Now, let me explain. This is not rocket scientists. If you cut grass and got a truck that you put debris on, you can participate in removing trees from the road. And there's a lot of money in that. And so I challenged our city, and I challenged the Chamber of Commerce to put on classes and teach and help get our individuals or companies certified to get on these FEMA lists, so that walk them through the process, so that when August, September, October timeframe comes up, should unfortunately a hurricane come through and there's opportunity for work, that our businesses get the first right and first stake at those jobs. And so those are the things and programs that I would bring. If you wouldn't actually would go back, the first thing I would do is make sure our Lauderhill businesses and our Lauderhill residents have an opportunity to get money, period.
All right. Now, you guys, well, I should say the city had a small business incubator program before, in order to help bring small businesses into the city. I don't know if that's still around or not, so I don't want to say it went away. But what would you do to help bring small businesses back into the city?
There was an incubator program. I'm not sure why it did go away. It did go away. One of those things is we don't want to recreate the wheel. Right now, we have a Chamber of Commerce that is actively trying to help small businesses. What I would do is ensure that they have the resources and help provide a framework, and so how we can partnership to get things moving in the right direction. There's many organizations out there. One of them I'm a member of is a Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA. That right now is getting money for COVID-19 to help businesses that were affected with COVID-19. They're providing resources such as CPA. They're providing resources for contracting plans, business plans. And these are things that you would normally have to pay for, but that is being paid for right now through the SBA. And I'm a member of that. And what I don't believe is that information is getting out. It's not penetrating the neighborhood and the businesses like it should. So I would make sure, I would be an advocate to make sure that information gets down to its lowest level to ensure everyone has an opportunity to partake of these resources, free resources that are out there right now.
All right. And now, and I mean, anyone that knows Lauderhill knows there are two sides to Lauderhill. You have Inverary and those areas, and then you have what they call deep side. So, so talk to me a little bit about what you would do to help to clean up and help to, to bring the same things you have in the Inverary side of Lauderhill and, those areas to the deep side of Lauderhill. And for those who don't know, deep side is the hood. Let's call it what it is. So what? So what would be, what are the things that you would do to make sure that the north side and the south side of Oakland Park Boulevard are pretty much seeing the same resources and the same opportunities?
Hey, Steve, thanks. Thank you for asking that. And just for our clarity for our viewers, we're a little bit bigger than the deep side. And just to add to that acronym,
it goes all the way out to the swap shop and everything. Yeah, I know.
We have, and that side is called the shallow side. All right. You got the shallow side. You got West Kinlark. You have St. George, Broward Estates, and those communities are east of the Turnpike. And then you have the two communities that is west of the Turnpike, and those two communities would be Inverary community on the north side of Oakland, as well as the deep side on the south side of Oakland. And then we also have a northwest corner, which is a great area, Northwest Lauderhill. And in that area, for those that don't know, it's used to be a Target over there. And I want to bring everybody's attention for those that are listening. They're trying right now, the city, there's developers approaching the city to talk about replacing that old Target that went out of business, replacing with about 8 buildings, 7 to 8 stories high for apartments. Wow. And the Northwest Lauderhill residents do not want that. So
really,
and with the residents. So back again, what does Ray Martin stand for? I'm a voice for the people. Whether I agree with the developer or not, whether I think it makes money or not, is not the point. I am elected to be the voice of the people. My opinion, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but my opinion is a collective of the city. So if the residents want certain things, and if I believe something is different, it is my job to show them a different way and get them to buy in. And if they don't buy in and they have a voice and what they want is different than what I want, I will vote for what the people want. And that's what my job is as city commissioner. But to go back to your question, what will I do to assist the 55th and 56th area is the area that make up deep side, and is probably have most of the calls for our fire and our first responders, our firefighters and our police officers. First thing I would do is we want to eradicate the division. We want to eradicate the shallow side, deep side. We want to eradicate that. We want all of Lauderhill to feel like one Lauderhill, united Lauderhill. That's the ultimate goal. Now, how do we do that? It's a phased approach. We're not going to get there overnight. I was vice chairman of Lauderhill Housing Authority, and the Lauderhill Housing Authority is located in the Windermere community, and the Windermere community is smack dead in the middle of what you would call deep side or the hood or the four-way stop sign, 19th Street and 55th. That's where the headquarters for Lauderhill Housing Authority, which I was the vice chairman of. We have built new homes in that community in an effort to turn it around. We've tore down raggedy buildings in an effort to turn that community around. I think we need to continue to fight and change that community. There was going back to the hurricane season that I talked about. They elected the park, which is right there on 55th Street in Lauderhill, as the place to bring all the debris. So unfortunately, I'm not quite sure how they got to the decision of choosing that park, but there was a narrative out there that some in the community will feel like, oh, just because it's the hood, they decided to bring all the trucks and start dumping all this stuff in our community. Would they have done that in an Inverary park? I don't know. And I'm not going to debate that. I'm not going to say that the elected officials or whoever made that decision specifically chose that park. But I will say it adds to the feeling of those individuals that live in that area that they feel neglected. And it adds to the feeling that you can put trash on them. And so I would spend my time ensuring that we make smart decisions, and some of them decisions might be to remain in that same John Mullins Park, or it might be a different park. But what I will do is make sure that we're transparent in why we make those decisions, and I'll invite the community and make sure that they have a say-so before those decisions are made, and make sure that we have community buy-in. The problem is making decisions without community buy-in is where you're going to get resistance. If the community has a voice and has the ability to shape what's coming down the pipeline, then they made that decision and they can have buy-in. So for example, right now, if we know the hurricane season is coming up, are the residents meeting and talking about, hey, if there's a major disaster, where will we put all these things at? The city may have a plan, but does the community know what that plan is? Did the community have an opportunity to voice their feelings on that plan? Did you get other ideas? And so these are the things that I would make sure that the community is aware of, the community leaders and representatives of those areas are aware of, and say, hey, listen, this is what's going to happen in a few months. So what you get with me is a forward thinker. I don't think about today and tomorrow. I think about the end of this year, next year, 3 and 5 years from now. And so if we know what's happening then, we need to bring it to the table now and give our residents an opportunity to shape what that future looks like. So when it get here, we're not making last minute decisions.
Okay, so and you just mentioned, well, you've mentioned a couple of times about hurricane season coming up, and we do see that happen a lot of times where after a hurricane, then we see, and it seems like, and I don't want to say that this is what it is, but from the lay side of things, it seems like the different cities, the county, they're all scrambling to make things happen after it. What is the emergency prepare plan for Lauderhill for the upcoming, or we're in the middle of hurricane season now, but what is that emergency prepare plan? What does it look like? Because we see a lot of times where afterwards, then it's like, okay, well, let's discuss what we're going to do. Is there something that they've already discussed? And then is there a plan for if that hurricane should hit or when that hurricane should hit?
So the city does have a plan. Unfortunately, I don't have it in front of me, and I don't want to misquote that plan. I do believe they are making tweaks and changes to it. We had a city run, our city is commissioner led, but city manager managed. And right now, the city manager that we had, Chuck Ferranda, he has been there. He was there, I don't know, 20 plus years. He recently just retired. So we now have a new interim city manager. So I'm sure there are some changes and tweaks being made right now as we speak. I know that the interim city manager came out, and her name is Desiree Giles. She came out during many times when I was volunteering at the hurricane points. And so she is intimately aware of some of the challenges. And so I feel faithful and confident that I'm sure she is looking at things to make some tweaks, but I don't have that updated plan right now, to be able to share with everyone. But I'll research.
Okay. All right. So now let's get to the elephant in the room, which everybody's always talking about, and we know that Lauderhill is a predominantly Black community, whether they're from the islands or from the U.S. or whatever the case may be. What about issues that we may see between the police and the citizens, or what can we do to strengthen it? I know Lauderhill has a good police force because a good friend of mine was the lieutenant chief for a while, or assistant chief for a while, John Raines, and but what would we do in order to help to bring the police a little bit closer with the people?
You're right in that, and I appreciate you recognizing that Lauderhill has a good police force. And I'll tell you, I come from a background of first responders. Like I said, I was a military guy for 22 years. My father's a retired police officer. My sister is currently a BSO detective. My brother-in-law is currently a police officer for Lauderhill. And so I do stand with the police, and I am proud to say that Lauderhill does not have some of these issues that you're seeing going around the country. I am very proud of our police force that are being able to restrain themselves we do not see the kinds of things that are going on in other cities. And so I think they will continue to do that. As far as bringing a relationship together, Chief Stanley has been doing a good job with Coffee with a Cop. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. They have a rolling schedule of Coffee with a Cop where they open it up to the community. Everybody can come out, eat breakfast and drink coffee for free, interact and get to know your chief of police, get to know your assistant chief of police, as well as the officers that are out there. In addition to Coffee with a Cop, they have opportunities where they call Bike with a Cop, where the police officers will lend you a bike if you don't have one. But you could bring your bike out. They shut off the roads. It's a police escort, and you ride through the communities. I've participated in Biking with a Cop. I've participated with Coffee with a Cop. I think we need to just continue those programs. And again, I think as far as building faith in the community, I think a lot of it comes down to transparency. As long as we're transparent in what our city officials and our police force is doing and holding everyone accountable, I think that's where faith and trust is built. It's when you try to hide stuff is when things go awry. Now, I'll tell you, as you mentioned, since it's going around the country right now, policing is a big topic right now. There's been some research, and you can check out the topics. There's these things that's called 8 policies. This research says there's 8 policies out there that can help your community and make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. We had a brief from our chief of police. She informed the community as well as the commission that we are doing the right things and that the policies are in place, and that she did take the time to review those policies. I would go in and just continue that same diligence and making sure that the policies we have are congruent with a transparent police force and making sure we're doing what we're supposed to do.
All right. So what else? What other programs do you see that we can bring to Lauderhill that's not already there? I see that you have things, as you're saying, with the police department. What about things that to encourage some of the children that are in? Again, let's use Deepside as the example. What would be some of the things that we can do to encourage them? I believe Lauderhill also has an education commission, correct? Or maybe I'm calling it wrong.
So what we have, Lauderhill has a number of boards that are appointed by the commission that are community boards. Those boards range from education and community board, as well as the housing authority board. There's multiple boards. So youth is always the top of mind when it comes to making changes and keeping things, trying to move in the right direction. So some of the things that I think that I would recommend or start bringing or try to institute in our city, I would say trade schools. We need, right now, our youth, and COVID-19 is exacerbating the problem and making it more apparent. There is nothing for our youth to do. If they're not in school, there is nothing for them to do. And so the fallback is sports, but not every child is into sports, and sports don't always pay the bills. Sports may take up your time and may keep you out of trouble, but it's not going to pay the bills. And we often find single parent households struggling financially would oftentimes allow those children, not necessarily encourage them, but it gives them a lot of opportunity to try to make ends meet and help their parent. So right now, we know it's the digital age, artificial intelligence. We know some things you need college degrees for, some things you need to be technically advanced for. And a lot of times our children coming from those communities may be challenged either without computers, without internet, without whatever. So they're falling behind. So what can we do to keep our community that may not have access to the things that some of the other communities have? I believe we need trade schools. Computers aren't going to take away a lot of trades, and trades make a lot of money. And right now, when I go through the DVPR stands for Department of Business and Professional Regulations. That's where you get the licensing for elevator repairmen. You get the licensing for plumbing, AC contractors. My company right now, Extreme Government Solutions, we do a lot of contract work for big hospitals, VA hospitals, and big commercial buildings out there. And a lot of times I need certified contractors to call on And unfortunately, they don't look like the people that live over there in 55th, 56, or some of our smaller communities. And so what I would say is I would encourage everyone when they say, what do you want to be when you grow up? If if it doesn't require a license, you're probably just going to kind of fall by the wayside. Look for jobs that require a license, and you can do that. Go to the DBPR, Division of Department of Business and Professional Regulations online for Florida. Look up the licensing, all the things that require a license, and pick one of those jobs, and then start training yourself to get one of those jobs. Having a license is going to distinguish you from everybody else on the street. Having a license is going to give you a leg up. Having a license as a certified AC repairman, certified general contractor. Don't just rent an apartment, build an apartment. I want to teach our young people, you don't need a college degree to know how to build a house. You don't need a college degree to know how to build rental units. You don't need a college degree to make six figures from one contract to change out the pipes that are busting in Fort Lauderdale right now every single day. Be the contractor that you're getting awarded $2.3 million to change the pipes on the street. Well, the only way in order to do that, a lot of times people grow up, and I ask attorneys or business people, how did you get in this field? And they often tell me, oh, that's what my dad did. That's what my mom did. And unfortunately, we don't have the parents that have these great jobs. And so they're not exposed to a lot of these things. I volunteer with an organization called KAPOW, Kids in the Power of Work, where we're able to bring them into the housing authority and the city hall to try to teach those children and expose them to different opportunities in life that are things that are out there. So what I would like to do is continue those exposure to those trades and create camps. There are camps. If you live near the space shuttle up there, cities, Titusville, you'll learn about space camps. If you live out in Alabama, where the Space Center coast out there, they have camps for children to go to those space centers. How do you become the Elon Musk? How do you become the guy that work on those rockets? How do you become the person, the engineer? Those are things that I would like to introduce our kids to, get scholarships. So most of them are not going to be able to afford a camp, but I'd like to send these children to space camps. I like to send our children to plumbing camp, send our children to elevator repairman camp. We have longshoremen with the ports. Our children are not exposed to a lot of that stuff. And a lot of times they need forklift operator license. They need background checks. They need training. We need to get those things exposed and make a pathway to living for many of our residents, not just the deep side, as we call it.
And I agree with you, with the different camps, and like Janie was saying, college is not for everyone. So you're gonna find some of those kids that have that skill, but they just don't have the pathway to college, or maybe it's not for them, and they can still make a lot of money. As a matter of fact, one of the people that I always put his ad up here. Let me, where is that? Where is his ad? There it is. So this young man, Curvins, he actually graduated from Boyd Anderson High School, which, that's one of the schools that pulled from Lauderhill area as well. And after high school, he opened up his own mobile detailing service. So and he's detailed my car before, he did a great job. And, and this young man, out of high school, graduated at 18, and to go a little bit further back, he actually used to sell candy, M&Ms, Snickers, stuff like that in school, and saved up his money through the 4 years in order to buy his truck, his generator, all these different things to start on his own detailing. So the innovation is there, and our children have the brains to do it. Sometimes they just need that opportunity, and I like what you're saying about the camps, because that would give them the opportunity in order to show what they can do and to move forward.
Exactly. And Steve, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to point out Curvin's car detailing. And let me tell you what I think we need to do with young entrepreneurs like Curvin. Right now, his business model, as I understand it, is network marketing in terms of I meet people, I share my card, and word of mouth, and I get to clean company, get to clean other cars. What I'd like to do is take individuals like that, teach them how to get into government contracting, train 3 or 4 more car detailers, and then he bids on, let's say, for example, the BSO car washing
Exactly.
contract. We need to take young individuals so that they're not just car to car. We need to grow their business. It's much bigger than that. We need to teach them how to become the BSO car detailer and own that contract and hire 5 to 10 other detailers who are taking care of the police officer cars and get a 1 to 5 year contract. There are a lot of people that need contracts. There's contracts with the cities, contracts with the counties. Everybody has a police department. There's fire departments. Everybody needs their vehicles cleaned and washed. And that's what I like to do, is start taking young entrepreneurs who got their heads together, teach them how to build a business, because building a business is where it goes. If you, and I encourage everyone to go back and look at Robert Kiyosaki. He has a cash flow quadrant. He had a book. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad series. And there's a lot of books out there. And his cash flow quadrant talks about you got to be an employee. You could be in a business. You could be an investor. And the other one is self-employed. And we want to get people out of that employee quadrant and begin to put them into the business owner and investor quadrant. But in order to do that, you have to elect people who already understands that. You have to elect people who want to give back and who've done that. And those are the people that you elect so that they can put programs in place to really raise the community.
That's a really good, that's a good point. Now, what about the community, as far as community support, how are you seeing that? You know, are you knocking on the doors? Are you getting a good response from the community when you go out and knock on doors? And what else are you hearing from them that they might want?
Steve, so short answer is yes. I'm hearing a lot of response. Be honest with you, as many may know, this is my second time running. And the first time I ran, I came in second, and now running again, I was really pushed in by the residents and the support. So I'm getting a ton of support. I am overwhelmed with the amount of love and support that is just coming out of the woodwork to help me. So if you're out there listening, I thank you. I thank everybody for voting for me the first time, and I thank you for supporting me now, and I look for your vote November 3rd, Ray Martin for Lauderhill City Commissioner. The things that I'm hearing out there right now due to COVID-19 is affecting not only just the election, but it's also affecting everybody's day-to-day lives. There are some people that are out of work. There are some people questioning healthcare, but also there are still things in the community that still need tending to. So for example, people are now noticing when it rains, the flood more often than they noticed before, because now they're home. The streets are being flooded. People are noticing the canals are getting more dirty. I had a meeting with the city last night. Due to COVID-19, the city is not working their normal schedule. So now the canals, we have over 60 canals in the city of Lauderhill, that is now being overcome with algae and debris. So right now, the pressing things on people's minds are the things they see in their face. Now, again, I understand that, and we're like a human nature. We tend to focus on the things that are right there in our face. So me as an elected official, I'll do 2 things. One, take care of the things that are in your face right now, but I will also look forward to the future because that's my job, is to prepare for the future and make sure that we're set up for success. So right now, the things that are in people's faces are loss of jobs, trash in canals, lack of opportunity to go out and shop because the supplies are low, wearing our mask. These things are dominating the internet. These things are dominating our everyday life, standing in lines for the post office, can't get to the bank. So right now, the community is only pumping their chest with the things that they see right away. I see those things. I understand those things. We can mitigate those things, but I'll also continue to work towards the future.
All right. And a lot of people don't really notice, you know, the great things. Hey, Melody say greetings to Stephen Ray.
Hey, smile. Hey, Melody, she's I love her spirit. She's like 100 days of happy. We need to turn that back on, Melody. Let's get back to 100 days of happy right now during COVID-19.
Definitely, we need it. No, yeah, definitely. So, and then a lot of people aren't familiar with a lot of the good stuff that's going on in Lauderhill. I mean, we watch the news, and all you ever hear on the news is, well, of course, the bad stuff, and it could be one bad thing that happened for the entire week, and the news will run it for that whole week. But 10 good things that happen, and you never really see a lot of the good things that's happening in Lauderhill. So share with us some of the good stuff that Lauderhill is doing. Some of the the some of the growth, some of the stuff that we're actually seeing, because it's a beautiful city. So
It is.
go ahead and share with us.
Lot of great things, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time, so I'll share a couple of them. One of the things that's going on behind the scenes is during the election in 2018, they elected to put on the ballot to create a new board, and that was the Community Budget and Advisory, the Lauderhill Community Budget and Advisory Board, of which I am the chairman of that board. And that board was created with representatives from each area of Lauderhill so that they can bring back those concerns. That board is starting to take momentum. We're shaping the budget. We have a direct line to the deputy city manager, as well as the heads of the city that are able to make changes. We're able to speak with the code enforcement and make changes. We're able to speak with the police officers and make changes. And these are changes from the community residents, where you don't have to go through the commission and wait a month and wait for something to get voted on. These are actionable items that take place every day that's happening. And those are the things behind the scenes that people may not see, but it's a policy thing that is a good thing. The things that people may see that are starting to take place is our geo bond. On 31st Avenue near 19th Street, you may have seen a trailer go up, and that trailer went up because they closed down the West Kinlark Park, and they closed down a West Kinlark Park. Some of it is due to COVID-19, but it's also in preparation for the geo bond. We're building a world-class track there. And for geographic purposes, you may not be able to see it when you're on the ground, but if you're above the air, this park will back up to the Central Broward Regional Park. And one of the initiatives that we're trying to do is make this a world-class track where you can come in and everybody can come and do their competitions, and it will connect to the you will be able to park in a regional park and walk over the little bridge to access the West Kinlark Park. And so that is very huge. The cricket stadium that's at Central Broward Regional Park is huge. And so we're trying to tie that in with a new track. It's not only going to do everything good for the residents in that community, but it's also going to do things good for the surrounding areas as well as our county. You're on mute, Steve.
Sorry about that. That was just testing you to see if you were paying attention.
I'm paying attention.
What about the 12th Street corridor? What's going to happen there? Are there any plans for that 12th Street corridor?
So the 12th Street corridor, if you have not noticed, that's where our bus stop used to be for the Lauderhill Mall. Right now, they're taking that bus stop and placing it in front of the mall. I think it's going to definitely increase traffic inside the mall. We're getting a new and improved, upgraded, state-of-the-art central station there. I think it's going to do wonders. It's great that it's going to be on 441. The 12th Street corridor, we have a lot of small businesses. I believe moving that bus station will have a impact on those businesses. We will have to work with those business owners to find out what it is they need so that we can continue to grow that business. But also part of the 12th Street corridor, there's a community center that's called the Sadkin Center, and there's a pool over there. I'm working with Irv Kiffin and with the pool for the outdoor recreation. And I think if once we bring those programs to that area and upgrade the Sadkin Center, that'll continue that traffic over there into the 12th Street area and hopefully mitigate the loss of business when they move the bus terminals away, that the increased traffic will make that up.
And one of the reasons that I mentioned the 12th Street corridor, and again, one of my advertisers, which is right on the screen now, A Aggressive Insurance, they're right on 12th Street, right directly across from the bus terminal. So that's something. That's one of the small business owners that you could talk to about the change and things like that, because yeah, I think they got a lot of business because people were right across the street and they can come over. But yeah, 12th Street. I mean, the new station I think is going to be a good thing. That Lauderhill station has been there for as long as I can remember, and I've lived in Lauderhill for years. I've lived in Broward for years, I should say, because I've been in different areas of Broward. But yeah, it was time to upgrade that, and I really believe that the new one that you guys are building on 441 on the 441 side of the mall is really going to be good. We'll see how that works out. It seems like it's a good plan. And I see some businesses came into the mall. I'm sorry, came into Lauderhill in the past couple of years. Lalo's, which is the restaurant right across from Joy's. Joy's actually moved over from the mall to their own building. So
Yep.
I'm seeing a lot of stuff happening in Lauderhill. And I remember years ago, not to thing, and I don't know how long have you lived in Lauderhill?
I moved here in 1988.
All right, so you remember then when MacArthur Dairy used to be just there on the south side of the mall, and now they have houses over there.
Yeah,
So
and I followed that transition. I don't know if you remember some of the plans. They even talked about what they call BET Soundstage was supposed to come in there, and for whatever reason that didn't happen. I wish it would have. But yes, there's houses there. I don't want to cry about, you say old dairy, cry about spilled milk. But honestly, I probably would not have put houses there. I think that might not have been a smart decision, and we don't want to debate that. But just houses at the entranceway of our community, directly across from the park, it could lead to some additional problems. So, for example, we have noise ordinances that are out there. And so we put policies in place to say you can't have a certain number of noise if I can hear it at the house. Well, if you put a house directly across the street from the park where you're trying to have a festival, you then shoot yourself in the foot if you build a park to have festivals, but then put a house there and say, now you can't play music after 10 o'clock. Some things are just not make the most sense. But, I wasn't elected then. So hopefully you elect me now to make those smart decisions going forward.
Yeah, because I remember the houses just on the north side of the park as well when they put those houses there, and I'm like, wait a second, you're gonna have concerts in an open area, and these houses are gonna be like, it's gonna be blaring into those, and that's exactly what happened. I remember one night, I think it was Barris was there, and I can't remember who else was there. I mean, the park, it was crazy. And then the music, I mean, I could hear the music from 2 blocks away. So I'm like, I can only imagine the people that live right next to the park.
Yeah. I don't think that was the best decision, but that's why you got to elect leaders that can think long term.
Exactly, and also leaders from the community, because if you live on the far west side of Lauderhill, you're not really going to think about what's going on this side. You're just going to vote based on what you see on the paper. You're not going to vote based on the common sense part of it.
Right. Now they're trying to make that what they call a downtown district. The 32nd Ave, is it 32nd, 38th Ave? I think it is. The warehouse district where the UPS store is, and which is connected all the way through. When you go in the back of that, you can make it all the way to Georgetown community and then onto the park, which is behind Lalo's. And so they're trying to make all this area, some new apartments, downtown area. And I think we really got to be strategic when we make these decisions.
So what about the businesses that are hurting right now from the COVID-19? I know federally they were giving out the federal loan and the federal grant program or whatever it was called. I don't remember what it's called. But a lot of people either didn't qualify for that, or the programs ran out of money. Are there any programs like that with the city that
Yeah, so the city has about 3 programs that are going on right now, or I won't say 3 programs, but I'll say it's all part of the CARES Act, CARES, the CARES Act. And with that CARES Act, the city has where they're helping with rent, they're helping with utilities, as well as helping businesses with small business loans. And when you fill out the paperwork for the small business loans, I pulled down that paperwork to try to go through it. It is very, very intensive paperwork, paperwork that's requiring what they call cage code and your SAMs. What a lot of businesses, and those are codes that you only get when you're doing business with the government. A lot of our independent and small business owners don't do business with the government, so they don't have all of that paperwork that they're currently requiring. So what I would do is streamline a lot of paperwork processes once in office and make it easier for our small business owners to apply and receive these loans. But there is still money out there. There's still help out there. Lauderhill is still providing that help and that support. But I think some of those things can be streamlined. I received a packet from Lauderhill to apply for a loan. I think I need to probably produce like 30 documents.
Wow.
I went through another company and I only had to produce 4 documents and got it approved in 20 minutes. So I think we can improve some of the things, but that's just the way the government is. City, local, and state, the wheels of the government move slow. And so what I would like to do is kind of make those things move a little bit faster, make it a little bit easier. And when we can't make things easier, put things in place where we are teaching our business owners and setting them up for success. So for example, you never, what they call, you don't wait till your well run dry to start digging for more water. So
Right.
businesses right now, just like the gentleman you put on the screen, he may be doing very well in his business. Right now is the time to prepare him for when the hard times come next year. We don't wait till next year and the hard times come. Right now we say, listen, this is the paperwork you need. Should there be some pandemic or should there be some catastrophe, let's make sure you have that paperwork today. Let's set you up today so that when that time comes, everybody's already good.
Now, that leads to another question that I had. Great segue to that question about getting some of the hustles, if you will, out of the shadows and making them legitimate business. Because yes, there are a lot of people out there that were making a lot of money with the sidewalk barbecue and different things like that, but they weren't registered. So now, go ahead and explain to those people, those entrepreneurs, the benefits of registering with the city, the county, the state, and like you just said, getting getting that loan or whatever. What are the benefits of those people coming out of the shadows and registering with the proper government authorities?
Yeah, Steve, thanks. And what happens is a lot of people don't register for a couple of reasons. Number one, they may just not know. It's just they just may not understand the process. Number two, some of them may be trying to avoid taxes or think they're saving money by not doing things the right way. And I'll tell you this from personal experience, as they say, it takes money to make money. And sometimes you got to play the game in order to win. If you don't play the game, you're not going to get in there. So I encourage all small business owners, independent, let's go legit. If you need help, give me a call and I'll put my information out there as we go on. But if you want to take a pen and paper, 954-644-0578, 954-644-0578, and I'll put that out later. Some of the advantages to answer your question, Steve, Lauderhill, for example, Lauderhill has what they call Jazz in the Park. They have a couple of cigars and drinks in the downtown area. Well, all these events that they put on, you can be a vendor at these events. You can receive money and be placed on a vendor registration list. But in order to get on that list, you got to do things the right way. And doing things the right way is not very difficult. You got to go to SunBiz. We go to the Department of State, Florida. We'll get you a Secretary of State, get your business license. We go to IRS, get you an EIN number. We go to the bank, take those 2 documents, open up your bank account right now. Then you're ready for business. We can build onto that and add into general liability insurance. And then you want to start taking yourself a paycheck. What a lot of small business owners don't understand or know, they typically what they call commingle funds. What you want to do is set yourself up, and I can help you with all that. You want to get a QuickBooks account. Pay yourself a paycheck. Now, you normally just take the money out of your account because it's your account, you're the owner. But what happens is we can't track that. The government can't track that, and therefore they can't give you a payment protection program loan on your paycheck if you don't collect a paycheck. What happens, most people say, I am getting money from my business. Yeah, but it's not legitimized so that the government can see that you're getting money from your business. There's a way to do business. And that's what a lot of people don't understand is how to do business. You can be a Mary Kay owner. You could be a Pampered Chef owner. You could be a realtor, real estate. You can own rental properties. You want to put yourself on a payment on a paycheck, because what happens is you're going to take little taxes out of there and pay to Uncle Sam. But when you do that, it lets Uncle Sam know that you're contributing to his pocket. So when there comes a time that he got to give money back, he's only going to give money back to those who paid money into the system. And if you never put into the system, you're not recognized and you're not going to be able to get money back, and they can't help you. And you say, well, I've been doing this for so long, but if you're not doing it the right way, they can't help you. So a lot of times we don't know what the right way is. And that is what I'm key on is educating small businesses, small business owners, young entrepreneurs on what the right way to do it and why you want to do it the right way. I promise you, if you do it the right way and you play the game the way the game's supposed to be played, your color will have less effect. You'll still have some effect, but
right. Less effect. Exactly. Yeah. And this is the correct number, right? 644-0578.
Yes. Call me anytime. Send me a text message, 954-644-0578. You can send me a message on Facebook, Ray Martin. I'm on Instagram, Elect Ray Martin. I'm on Twitter, and website, Martin for Lauderhill. Or you can email me at ray@martinforlauderhill.com.
All right. And that's, I mean, that's a good thing that you're putting your information out there, because that goes to show, just how dedicated you are, where you're just giving people your number, your email address and everything. That's dedication right there for you. Yeah. But I like the entrepreneur programs that you're talking about. I like the things that you're doing, because I really believe that we have to start doing more for our kids. I really think that that I don't want to say the schools aren't doing enough, but we're not seeing the results from the schools that we should be seeing. And I give teachers a lot of credit, because they're doing the best with what they have. My aunt is a teacher. A few friends of mine are teachers. I have other relatives that are teachers, and yes, they're doing the best with the things that they have. But every little bit helps, and we need people in office that are really going to make a difference and really going to push. Because the thing is, and I always say this to people all the time, we have to look at it as a puzzle. It's not just a picture. So people think it's going to be one thing that, boom, this fixes it. No, it's a puzzle. And the puzzle starts by putting the right people in office. And then you have to have, all the right pieces have to fit together to fit that, to make that puzzle happen. And if you miss one piece, it's not going to work. So it starts with the people in office. We have to make sure that we get out and vote. We have to make sure we vote for people that represent us. And again, as I always say, even if the person doesn't represent everything that you want, pick your battles. You have to pick your battles. Everyone's not going to represent everything. Pick your battles. If you like what you're hearing, then you vote for the person. If not, then you talk to the person. You come to a happy medium with what's going on. But there's not going to be a perfect politician anywhere. But people, you guys got to get out and vote. You got to listen to Ray. Call him. Talk to him. Tell him what your situation is. See how he can help you, or how he can help your neighborhood. Because, well, which area is C3 responsible for? Or
it's citywide, Steve.
Oh, it's a citywide. Okay. How many commissioners do you have?
Currently, there's 5 that sit on the board. It's 4 commissioners and 1 mayor.
Okay, Mayor Thurston. But yeah. So going back to what I'm saying to people, call Ray, talk to him. See what he's all about. You know what I mean? And make that decision. But get out and vote. Get out and vote. But I always tell people, we got to talk. We got to talk to our politicians. We got to know who they are. And then when they win, we got to still call them. Call them up. That's one thing. You guys, any politician that knows me would tell you, I'm the one that would keep calling. I'm like, hey, listen, you said you were going to do this. What happened? You said in 6 months' time you were going to have the sewer system done. It's been a year. What happened?
Right. Hey, Steve, and the beauty of this new COVID-19, we're doing all these videos now, which is all recorded.
Exactly.
So we can always go back and play the tape.
And well, then we did that with the president too. He's like, I didn't say that. That's fake news. But hey, it's on video. So your seat is a nonpartisan seat, or is it
It is nonpartisan.
Okay. All right. So what else do you need volunteers? What else do you need with your campaign that you'd like to let the people know about?
We'd love everyone's help, everyone's support, volunteers, donations, anything you can do. There's something that everyone can contribute. If you like what I'm saying, and if we can find some common ground and you want to help support our campaign, please reach out to me. The telephone number's on the screen. Send me a text message, 954-644-0578, or send me an email, ray@martinforlauderhill.com. You can work from the comfort of your own home and help the campaign. You can also help come out and door to door. We can help fundraise. There's a lot of things you can help, as well as you can always donate. If you don't want to do anything else, you can always give money.
Yeah, there you go. That's something that's always needed. And I'm gonna put the website up on the screen here now too, so that people would be able to see. All right, there you guys go. There's the website. I think I did it. There it is. Yeah. Nope, that's not it. Why didn't it come up? Huh. Okay, I see. MartinForLauderhill.com. I'm going to put that up on there in a second. So definitely, you guys get out. Well, actually, can't get out because right now things that are going on. But definitely talk to Ray. Give him a call. See what's going on. See how he can help you out. How if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to get into a business. Right now, we have so many people making masks for COVID-19. We have so many people doing, and that's the other thing too. This pandemic is actually creating a lot of small businesses.
It is.
Guys, don't just sit home and complain about your job laid you off or whatever. Use it as an opportunity. Ray is telling you how he can help you to set up in different things. Give him a call. Give him a call because, I mean, if you're making masks, like you said, there are contracts out there. The school board is going to need all these different things because, I mean, I don't think they're going to be taking the KN95 masks from first responders and give them to the teachers. I don't know. I'm just saying. But
Steve, let me share just, if people are creative right now, there's a ton of money to be made out there. If you just pay attention when you're walking around, I just sold $50,000 worth of plexiglass to the VA hospital up in West Palm Beach. You got plexiglass in front of all the cashiers. You got plexiglass now, they need it in all the small businesses. If you walk in some of the stores, you'll find stickers on the floor creatively designed 6 feet apart. There's somebody that's designing those stickers. They're coming up with creative ways to put stickers here 6 feet apart, no mask in my store. There are stores out there that has a printout sheet where they wrote on it and said, must have a mask to enter. Our graphic artists out there, there are graphic artists that can create these signs, start printing them out, making them stickers for some of the businesses, sell them door to door. There's a lot of unique opportunities right now. I've seen the shields with the glasses on them. You can manufacture a lot of this stuff, 3D print this stuff. There's a lot of things that people can make. I'm hearing complaints. And what happens is when you want to start a business, you really want to solve a problem. I've heard now with masks and wearing glasses. When they wear their masks, the air goes up and it fogs up their glasses. They're still trying to find a fix for that. You can be that person to find that fix. A lot of people with the same problem. So
exactly. And the thing is too, like you just sold the plexiglass to the VA hospital, but now they need to get it installed. Somebody else go and give them a call, or even like I went to oh gosh, I don't remember what store it was that I went to. And anyhow, but they had their plexiglass hanging from the ceiling, and here it is moving back and forth and things. I'm like, they should have something on the bottom to hold it so it doesn't go back and forth, and just something as simple as that. I mean, there are a million ways to make money during this pandemic, and all we have to do is we have to be creative, because if you see an issue with something, odds are a million other people have seen that same issue, and the thing is, nobody fixed it. So that's your opportunity to fix it. So guys, get out there, make some money. Don't complain. Don't just sit home and say, I don't understand, my job laid me off. Okay, maybe that was God giving you a push that you need to get somewhere else and do something else. So we have to do this, people. We can't just keep sitting home and complaining. I mean, I've started doing my show again. I mean, I'm just saying, so everybody does their little part, and I mean, there's a lot that we can do. Melody said, that's my problem every day. Mask fogs up my glasses. So see, someone out there came up with an idea for that. That's the thing, though. There's someone out there that had that, and I don't know who or where, but someone came up with something and go, I was able to fix it because XYZ. Well, whatever it is that you did that fixed it, make it a business.
Yeah. That's it.
That's so that's what we need to do. We need to get out there and again, give Ray a call, talk about some of those government contracts, talk about how you can get things done. Let's do this. Each one teach one. It takes a community, and we have to do it. We got to keep pushing. Got to keep pushing forward. Because I tell people all the time, one way or another, things are going to change. They're either going to get better or get worse. They're going to change. So you make sure that changes for the better. Let's do it.
Right. And Steve, lastly, my office, if anybody want to ever come by my office and have a sit down, cup of coffee or whatever, I'm at 1773 North State Road 7. And where that is, it's the old housing building. It used to have blue tiles. It's on 441. It's between 16th Street and 12th Street, about a block from Bravo. It's right next to the Firestone BB&T Center. We share the parking lot. Again, that's where my office are. If you're ever in the area, if you just want to stop by and say hi, you don't even have to need anything. That's typically where you can find me. 1773 North State Road 7 on 441 between 16th Street and 19th Street, right next door to Firestone and the BB&T building.
Okay, I remember that building. Wow, they did have the blue tile on the outside.
Yeah, they took the blue tiles down. It's had a makeover, a facelift, so it's looking a little bit better.
Big Ben Kelly has a studio in that building.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to go over there to the studio when I used to do the show with him before. I did a show with him. Actually, I did a show on his platform before. But yeah, definitely, you guys, if you guys want to sit down and have coffee with the candidate, there you go. Time for you to get out there and talk to Ray and see what's going on.
Practice social distance. We have a conference room, and I'll make sure you sit on the other side of the table.
All right. And if you guys want to bring cake, bring something from Publix. Bring some Publix chicken. Publix chicken is always good. No. All right, but Ray, thank you very much for being on the show. I appreciate it as always. You brought good information to the viewers, and I mean, you gave me a lot of good information too that I didn't really know about before. So I definitely will reach out to you afterwards about some of the things that you're doing, some of the entrepreneur stuff, because I like to talk to some of the young kids about these things and how they can get involved. So definitely we can talk about those things. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on your show, Steve.
Okay. Thank you. And good luck with your race.
All right. Thank you.
All right,
Lauderhill City Commissioner, seat number 3. Vote November 3rd. And also go out and get your census counted.
Definitely. Yep. Definitely. All right, Ray. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Hey guys, all right. So that was the information that we got from Ray, and as you always know, I mean, it's like my biggest thing is get out and vote. We have to get out and vote. We can no longer sit back, complain, and just keep saying, "Oh my God, things aren't changing." You know why things aren't changing? Because we're not making them change. Get out and do it. All right. Call these people. Call the politicians. Call the people that are running. And you can get them from your supervisor of elections office. You can get it from your city manager's office. Even if you guys aren't here in Broward County, you're not living in particular areas, Wherever you live, election time is coming up. All right. Call whoever, your supervisor of election, your city manager, call them up and ask them, how do I get the information on the people running? And call those people and talk to them. Ask them, what is it that you're going to do for me? What is it that you're going to do for my community? Don't be shy and bashful and, oh, well, I don't want to ask them this, I don't want to ask them that. No, you get out there and you ask them. Because the same way that he was able to bring you the information and tell you what he stands for with no quiver and no back and forth and no political jargon, he told you straight up front, you need to get with your other candidates and ask them the same questions and see what they say. That's just me. I don't have time for the beating around the bush and the this and the that. I ask people straight up front, hey, what is it that you're going to do for us? That's it. What are you going to do for us? So long story short, get in touch with them, call them up, call Ray, call other people that are running for whatever office, whether school board member, sheriff, whatever. You want to know what they're asking for before, what they're going to do before you vote for them. All right, guys. Again, thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Ray, for being on the show. As always, it was a pleasure having you on the show. And I have my computer back up and running. Yesterday, we had a storm here and it got hit. The building, I guess, got hit by lightning because it sounded like a tank like a tank hit the building or something. But the computer fried, the motherboard fried, so I had to get another computer. Boom, I'm back up and running. And as always, we are going to keep pushing forward, keep bringing you the information that you need so that you can make an informed decision. All right. If you haven't already done it, go to YouTube. You could just put in Lunchtime Talk with Steve, click the subscribe button so that you can know when we're on, and click the little bell too. You can also do the same on Facebook. If you go to Lunchtime Talk with Steve, hit subscribe or hit like, and then there's a little button, a little bell that you can always know whenever we go live. All right, come on, people, let's make this happen. It takes a community, and you're part of my community now. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. As always, take care of yourself, take care of each other. Do a random act of kindness for a stranger. All right, if you see that one of your neighbors or someone needs to get food from the food line, go out there and get it. If go help them, either take them to it or bring the food to them. But you can't sit back and watch your neighbor starve and then just say, oh, well, I'm good, my house is good. No, you are your brother's keeper, and we definitely need to make sure that you're taking care of your brother. All right, as always, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Peace, people. La